What up, guys? So, I finally fully leveled up the Bolt Carbine Marksman, and I had the idea that, you know what, I think the Tactical is a really good class for this weapon. The Bolt Carbine Marksman, I'm not too sure if you ever used it. Not a lot of people use this weapon. It is pretty much a stalker that does less damage, but has a, pretty much a better fire rate. It practically fires as soon as you can press down the trigger, so it's one of those weapons that can potentially, leave you with a sore finger. But regardless, as you can see, the Tactical has a lot of primary weapon damage support. You know, when I get a gun strike, I get more damage. Obviously, I have the scan, and that's going to increase my damage, which is nice. But I jump into this operation a little bit late. This is Termination. And that Vanguard right there, dude, he spawns in, says, "For the Emperor," goes through all of that toxic and just grapples somebody and finishes off the group there. That was so insane. I had a nice scan there, which was nice, but still, all you really need is a couple headshots with the Bolt Carbine Marksman here with the heavy to get somebody into a gunstrike executionable, which is kind of insane. This Bolt Carbine Marksman is very, very reliable. I would say it's an all-around weapon, and since Tactical is an all-around class, I think it is the perfect weapon for him. There is what we are working with as far as team perks. I do have aligned aim, so I am increasing my damage that way. But yes, all we really need is a scan, get a couple shots, and as you can see there, that Majoress did not stand a chance. Now, right here we have some parries I definitely need to get through, but I really like how responsive that weapon is. As soon as you get a parry, you can get a couple shots in there. And yes, that is a celebratory banner right there. That banner is cosmetic. This operation is already very weird, but it's pretty cool. I've been having a lot of fun. Like, this is kind of like the days before the patch, so you kind of can get into some weird games. A lot of people are finishing up their absolute runs, and of course this is on absolute. Wow, I was very close to getting jumped on there. But yeah, I wanted to just point out how good the Bolt Carbine Marksman is with the Tactical. It took me this run to realize that this weapon is just perfect for the Tactical. It just feels like Tactical pretty much takes advantage of all of the good qualities of this weapon. The fire rate and the accuracy, you can easily get some headshots, and basically Marked for Death will clean up a extra kill for you just for one bullet right there. And yeah, even without the scan, it's just very nice pressure DPS. It is very consistent chip damage, is what I would call it. And basically, the more critical shots you can hit, the better you are in for to just basically stack up a lot of DPS. And yes, I was able to heal myself because of Unmatched Zeal there. And honestly, that is just such a useful perk to have. See, right there, it's just a Marked for Death. That was a just Marked for Death scan right there. Luckily, took out some of the gaunts. Now, getting up and close with this weapon is also a really good option. It's probably preferable to get up and close, but I think this weapon is very accurate, and obviously, as you can see there, it's not too bad at dealing damage. I pretty much was able to just take out that Major and have a nice I had a nice little pose there, I guess, because of the the explosive damage on that execution. Actually took out a couple gaunts there. But as a team, we are getting through this operation without much trouble. The DPS that the Marksman Bolt Carbine can put out is just really nice with Tactical. Tactical can utilize this weapon and practically make it its best form. I think that kind of makes sense for Tactical. Tactical should be a primary weapons master. So any primary weapon he uses honestly should be put into a position where it is the best performing version of that weapon, for the most part. You would think Tactical could maybe pull off the Bolt Sniper. That would be kind of interesting. If there was one weapon that I would want to kind of loosen the class restrictions on, I would consider putting the Bolt Sniper on Tactical, even though that would be kind of like a, that would be kind of rough to see the Sniper kind of have their main weapon just kind of like switch to the Tactical. Oh, but yeah, that Biovore definitely did a lot of damage to me right there. That was rough. The Biovore here, this is pretty much the only position I could get where, yeah, those spore mines are just filling up that hallway for me. That path, if I walked down that path without armor, I probably would have died. So the bolt carbine marksman here just providing some nice support fire there, and we were able to get the Biovore into executionable status. And that's kind of the cool part about the weapon, is the weapon's good up close, but even from long range, even though it likely has some pretty harsh damage fall off, you can still consider it. You can still consider the fact that it's going to do some reliable chip damage, just purely from the fact that the bolt carbine actually has a nice DPS bullet ratio. Just frankly put, the bolt carbine is just a very, very good weapon. So even if it's long range, as long as you are hitting headshots, you're going to get damage, especially considering scan. And not to mention, I'm getting more damage from a gun strike anyway, so like the build can definitely work in close range, but like if you just scan something from far away, you're still going to get a lot of range damage. I mean, you know, not considering marked for death, but obviously marked for death is going to be good. Now, we're going after the Bio-Titan, and it's kind of interesting. I think I'm getting pretty close to my Bio-Titan ordeals. I'm pretty sure the Bio-Titan ordeals definitely like around 15 or something like that. I'm definitely getting some Bio-Titan grinds in recently. For whatever reason, this is where quick play is sending me. Even though I am getting some quick play games where I'm just getting sent to like the lobbies. Those are the worst, man. If I'm jumping into a quick play game, make sure you send me to a game that's like currently active, you know what I mean? Honestly, it's not that big of a deal, but like it's kind of funny. And dude, after looking at this footage, I gotta say I'm very, very interested in using this again. I think it's time to start thinking about horde builds and what like type of weapon you want and what type of class you want for horde. You know what I mean? I think it's time to start preparing something like that. As we have patch 7 coming out soon in a couple days, and then the next patch would be a horde mode patch. That's going to be very interesting PTS as well. A horde mode PTS. I wonder if we are even going to get that. I do hope we do, I guess, but like at the same time, I would like it if they would limit it in some sort of way. Consider like how the operation, you know what, they didn't really limit that operation, you know, exfiltration with the Trigon Prime. We were able to fight that boss in the PTS like a whole week before the patch came out, or even maybe even 2 weeks, something like that, right? Oh, nice. That was a good parry right there. I had to parry a few of those gaunts away. I was just slapping them away. Big slam right there to break the guard. The fencing chainsword, still a pretty vicious melee weapon. I love the chainsword. The fencing chainsword is so good. The fencing chainsword was like one of the first weapons I ever fully leveled up. That and the heavy bolt rifle. Now, if I was to compare the bolt carbine marksman with the tactical, and then compare it against the sniper, I think it's interesting. I do think the scan, you get a little bit more damage from that, but then not to mention, I just think overall tactical just has a little bit more primary weapon support. That was crazy, by the way. Getting hit by that thing, I have no idea how that hit me. I thought my teammates were going to get that for some reason, but yeah, I definitely should have been a little bit more careful there. But yeah, for sniper, the bolt carbine marksman is definitely pretty good, but I feel like it pairs well with a melee build because you're going to be up close. I love how this guy's going for the handshake right there. The handshake in the middle of the operation. I think it was by accident, but still. Oh god, spore mines. No healing right there, so if I don't find enemies, yeah, that's all the contested health I can get. But yeah, the bolt carbine marksman is pretty good with sniper. I just think it's possibly a little bit better on tactical, because tactical just, you know, you can get 25% extra range damage from a gun strike, and then stack that with scan, and then also just have a regular perk that gives your primary weapons 10% extra damage. It's insane. It's such a good weapon for tactical. I was very surprised to see how strong it ended up being. It kind of makes me wonder, going back to that bolt sniper situation, what the bolt sniper would even look like on tactical. I just imagine it would look pretty good. Tactical has so many options when it comes to accurate weapons. The Stalker bolt rifle obviously is a strong weapon, and I have used the Stalker bolt rifle with Tactical. I haven't used it recently. But with that said, for whatever reason, I just enjoy the Bolt Carbine Marksman a little bit more. I just think it's a little bit more aggressive. The fire rate's obviously faster. And I think that's going to be, having a weapon with fast fire rate is going to be a great way to get your contested health back, at least if you consider, how the Meltas and the Plasmas were nerfed. Now, I did jump into this operation a little bit late, but I did manage to get pretty close to 10,000 damage. Look at that Vanguard damage. I think that dude had to be solo or something. That is a ridiculous amount of damage. But yeah, I was impressed with how this performed. Basically, any sort of major that was in my way was getting burnt down.